Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching the newest season of Baki on Netflix known as Baki Hanma. Mainly because it's covering the Son of Ogre series of the Baki franchise. Now when it comes to Baki, it's certainly been one of the most popular anime on Netflix for quite a while. Ever since the Most Dangerous Death Row Inmates arc showed up in 2018 through 2019. The Baki franchise is silly, ridiculous, and full of fights that could never happen in real life, but that's also part of why I love it so much. And this series is no exception. Basically, after the events of the last season, which was the Rai Tai tournament and also the fight against Muhammad Ali Jr., Baki Hanma is actually going to go through with his fight with Yujiro Hanma. But first, he needs to find a way to match his father's strength, and one way to do so is to willingly get himself arrested in order to be put into the Arizona State Prison so he can face Biscuit Oliva, the strongest man in America. And he gets arrested by abducting George Bush. Yes, George Bush is a character in the series. But that's all I'll say about the story without spoiling anything. Throughout these 12 episodes, it basically takes up the shadowboxing arc as well as the prison arc of the manga, and it does so with about the same amount of animation quality as the original series. Which is, the fights look really good, and there certainly are shortcuts made when it comes to some of the flashbacks and some of the explanations of techniques. But for the most part, it's a generally good-looking series, especially when it comes to the important fight scenes that matter. Plus, for fans of the Baki series ever since the original series in the early 2000s, you do get some returning characters like Colonel Stridham and Iron Michael, and along with some new faces such as the Mouth Triplets and Maria, who's basically Oliver's girlfriend. Let's just say he's into larger women. And all these characters basically fit into the ridiculous world in their own way pretty well. But, of course, the big character for this season is the show's version of Che Guevara, who not only becomes a good rival to Biscuit Oliva, but who happens to essentially be everything awesomely ridiculous that you can do with a real-life person like Che Guevara, while also doing something so ridiculous that there's no way that the actual Che Guevara was like this. But that's part of what makes Baki so fun. The fact that you can literally never predict what Keisuke Itagaki is going to write next for his characters, and yet somehow you still believe it in the context of the story. There's no wink to the audience when it comes down to all the ridiculous stuff happening, which not only adds to the absurdity, but it also makes it feel genuine in a way. Like, Keisuke Itagaki really sees the world in this fashion. Even in the shadowboxing arc, it still happens to do a good job introducing you to the kind of logic the series has when Yujiro Hanma defeats a giant African elephant on his own, when not even the army could do it, and when Baki Hanma befriends a young boy, where he also happens to fight an imaginary 9-foot-tall praying mantis, and you somehow end up having that become a really cool fight. It's insane when it comes to the ideas of the series. And considering the pickle arc that's going to come up later, it's only going to get more insane from here. But if you embrace the insanity, just like the previous seasons, you'll have a fun time. That's why I'm going to give the season an 8.5 out of 10. See you next time.